I don't know why I said I'm out. I should have said I'm on to the continued, because the next part is I just want to give you a few facts, and then we can just move right along from this video. Here's number one fact. Umar Johnson. Well, before I read this, let me give you the source of it. This is Evidence and Facts versus Fraud and Deception. Umar Johnson. Suspicion and Unanswered Questions. Evidence and Facts versus Fraud and Deception. Okay. So, and what it goes on, it says, we are living in a new age where leaders are being made by social media. And see, that's not, I'm a product, again, I was born in the 50s. So I'm a product of the 60s. And all this crap right here, I'm not with it. I'm just not with it, and it's unacceptable to me. It's unacceptable. Black leadership has degenerated from the pre-social media generation of great scholars such as John Henry Clark, or Dr. John G. Jackson, and Dr. Irvin van Sertima, and others. Today, someone can take an idea of a school that never becomes a school and push that idea on social media and become more well known than somebody like Dr. Aline Palmer, or who founded the Marcus Garvey School in Los Angeles in 1975, or more respected among sadly uninformed masses than someone like Marva Collins, who founded the West Side Preparatory School in Chicago, also in 1975. I remember her, by the way. A non-educator can become more respected as an educator leader than founders of the East in New York, who founded their own school in 1970 with a few $1,000s and provided a national model of African-centered excellence that helped guide a movement. Unfortunately, we live in strange days, and this is what y'all young people don't understand. These times right now, and take it from me, because I didn't have no computer in school when I came up. We had to talk to each other, okay? Wasn't no computer and email and all this. So if you wanted to talk to somebody, you had to get up and go and knock on their door. You understand? So we know how to talk. That's the generation I'm from. I'm not from this social media generation. So you have to bear with me if my thought process is a little different. And it's okay, because this is forcing you to use your mind, not technology so much. And sometimes it's okay. Otherwise, if you don't use it, you lose it, and your brain will become rusty. Okay? Because obviously, when you can just listen to people that just come out of nowhere, whether they have the expertise in the field that they claim to or not, but if they can preach good and you like their personality and they're charismatic, I mean, they can just do more than people like Dr. John Henry Clark ever did. And that's sad. Anyway, it says Dr. Hotep and Dr. Chiki are the great scholars you never heard of in the non-cerebral social media world. They document a great history of some real and some existing schools, many of which are closing due to funding. And they have been around for decades. Some of these are some of the greatest educators and institutional builders that we have produced as a people. Okay? I mean, since before Umar was even born. Meanwhile, while this is occurring, a charlatan calling himself the Prince of Pan-African, with only an idea that he is pawning off, is given hundreds of thousands of dollars without any school, while he makes mockery and often profane caricatures of a movement to which he defames. Let us consider some facts and evidence about Umar Johnson. And this was updated January 2nd, which is today. Okay, 2017. Facts. And if y'all can't handle the facts, I'm going to tell you something right now. If you a baby, go right now, go in your mama room and go and suck her breast. Okay, because you a baby. But if you a grown-ass man and a grown-ass woman, then just hold on tight and then just either repute the facts, but be able to handle the truth. Like the little informer say, handle the truth. If you can't handle it, then that means the conversation is too grown for you, and you don't need to be listening to nobody until you get your mind right and your emotion in balance. Okay? Because here go the facts. Umar Johnson has become a professional fundraiser. He had a deadline of August 21st, 2014 to purchase the St. Paul's College without a clear operational plan, staff, potential students, and other necessities for a school. The projected fundraising goal was $5 million. The goal was not achieved. What most fundraisers do is either go to plan B, which is using the funds for another projected goal, extending the deadline, or returning the money at the option of donors. Okay? The donors are given an option. You know, like, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to return your money, or we're going to put it in this particular project? Yada, yada, yada. Which is the same thing I did. In fact, I have a 501c3. We do, and it's for the children. FTK, Kids Services. Okay? So if you make a donation, and it's tax deductible. Anyway, make a long story short, Dr. Umar chose to switch projects and expand the deadlines, which is this is what he told his supporters. He has mentioned purchasing other properties, but not with the urgency of the original project. See, first he had the urgency to do the stuff. Okay, let me just go ahead on, because I get so frustrated and pissed off when I see people taking advantage of people that they don't think is smart, and narcissists think they're smarter than every damn body, and that's what bothers me. Essentially, fundraising has become his means of income. Umar Johnson is not an employed professional or a business owner. His means of income is fundraising. This is fraudulent behavior. Fundraising is not for personal income. It is for the fundraising goal. If a percentage of funds goes towards other expenses or not, there should be full transparency. Umar Johnson does not provide his supporters with full transparency. The entire project is questionable because Umar is an individual without significant education or organizational leadership. Perhaps if the project was sincere, he would start with much smaller and manageable school to gain some experience. However, if money is the goal, then he would begin where he is now, which is fundraising and only fundraising. Okay? So listen, I'm trying to give y'all this. Just listen, hold on to your horses. Various members of the black community have made requests and demands that Umar provide records from PayPal of his community donations and withdrawals allegedly for his school. He has also been requested to provide records accounting for the monies through his GoFundMe allegedly for the school. The community has asked that Umar cease to collect money in the name of building or opening of a school until he provides adequate and reliable financial information, which to this date has not occurred. Okay, here go fact 2. A lack of financial transparency leads to a suspicion of fraud. And for all you Bible thumpers out there, remember, you don't want to appear evil. So just your lack of transparency right in itself is leading people to be suspect of you. So you should already know this, being a psychologist and all. This is basic business knowledge, which Umar supporters either don't know or just don't care. Or are they too dumb? It's just, which is it? And I'm just going to call it. Are you too stupid? I hate to think that about us. Are we that damn dumb? Umar Johnson has been questioned and has not provided public financial accounts or expenditures of money collected and money spent. He has become very angry when questioned around collections, plans, and expenditures, such as what had taken place on a radio show with the female caller. Dr. Umar Johnson panics when asked about to show his accounting. It said, who was silenced by him and the radio host, who quickly went to a break while Umar called the sister a reactionary. For the questions about a clear plan, transparency, and accountability of funds. So remember, whenever you ask the narcissist uh, a question, they're willowy, and they're not going to be held accountable. They're going to project. They're going to project right back on, or they'll do crazy, making it gaslight you. Okay? Further, there is no financial plan of sustainability to run a school which he intends to open. A $5 million school would have significant budgetary expenditures in salaries and facilities. Not to mention the startup costs alone. Depending on student population, a $5 million school may very well need more than $5 million annually to run. Tuition costs will be driven in part by population of the student body. With 35 buildings at the St. Paul's College, that's the one he's trying to get initially, having over 700 students at one point, tuition may be expected to be approximately $5,000 to $10,000 or more to cover expenditures and salaries if UMAR actually opened the school. He's not looking at that property again anymore, I heard. But anyway, the problem with UMAR is that there is no financial plan or blueprint developed for his fundraising supporters or the public. A lack of financial transparency could mean a few different conclusions. Okay? As anyone with basic business awareness should know. Number one, there was never any serious intent to purchase or run a school in the first damn place, only just to raise the money and reputation to build it, or the money is being used for personal living expenses. Or number three, this phase of professional fundraising was not carefully thought out, and maybe he thinks it's okay to figure it out along the way, which is unsound fiscally. I believe it's a combination of all three of these things, and it just adds up to a big damn fraud. Education leaders who are successful do not operate by chance or without a clear plan. I couldn't even run a damn group home without a plan. And if you want to challenge me, and if you get enough of you to make a comment and leave it below, I'll show you the plan. I'll show you exactly what a plan looks like. So if you tell me the laws of your state, and I can tell you exactly what it would encompass to open up a child facility, group home shelter in your state, in your city, or in your state, I'm sorry. See, this is not rocket science. Anyway, fact number 3. There is and never have been a board of trustees, consultants, or advisors. UMAR Johnson does not have any experience as a school administrator or educational leader. He is a professional speaker who makes a living from speaking. He has never balanced the school budget. He does not understand leadership dynamics. And with this obvious lack of experience, he would need consultants and advisors if he was serious about the project. He would further need a board of trustees, which he does not have, and the board would provide governance and checks and balances. A board that would have a president, a vice president, treasurer, secretary, and members with the expertise in these various areas. Consultants and advisors would provide guidance, questions, and insight based on years of experience and accomplishments. Why not give these important people in your corner such a project? Well, unless number 1, UMAR only wanted to raise the funds for personal gain, or 2, he wanted popularity instead of achieving the goal. I think the stuff, personally, I think it happened too fast for him. I don't think he thought he would go out the gate and be as successful as he was. It's just my observation, just my opinion. Opinions are like booties. Everybody have them. Number 4, fact 4. Disclaimer and apology from Merkasa and Africa Ma'at. An apology is extended to our global readers. And it was previously cited as fact that Jermaine Shoemake, a.k.a. UMAR Johnson, had without a doubt earned his doctoral degree from our research team investigation. However, that information is not factual. There is no undeniable information to date that Jermaine Shoemake also known as Umar Johnson, earned a Doctor of Psychology, which is a PhD, right? There is evidence that an Umar Johnson earned this degree, but evidence shows that this was not Jermaine Shoemake. The research team, led by an excellent sister by the name of Chantel Beatty, has turned up evidence that there is possibly two different people. Are y'all hearing me? Okay. I want y'all to know that this came from the Africa Resistance global organization, and they've been around since the 60s. So now, if you want to call them liars, and you just call the ancestors liars, all of them, call the ancestors liars, because they have more history of research and documentation than Umar Johnson, has in his baby finger. Okay, so they've been doing this a long time. Now, there is evidence that Umar Johnson earned this degree, but evidence shows that this was not, again, Jermaine Shoemake. The research team, led by an excellent sister, again, Chantel Beatty, says evidence has turned up that there is possibly two different people. There is a verified evidence that someone named Umar R. Abdallah Johnson earned a doctorate of psychology in 2012. This individual is Arab and married. Jermaine Shoemake is neither. When I first heard and saw Umar, he was going by the name of Umar R. Abdallah Johnson. Now, that's when I first saw him back in the day. And like I said, these years just run into each other now. It could have been 10 years ago. It could have been. Could have been 2006. Somewhere. It could have been 2006. Yeah, I mean, So, but anyway, make a long story short. The research team, this individual is married. To date, there is no evidence that Jermaine Shoemaker, also known as Umar Johnson, the public speaker, has earned this degree, this PhD, in 2012 or in any other year. No degree or manuscripts have been provided by him. And I don't think it was 2005. I'm going to ponder with that one a bit, because that's very important for me to think about. When's the first damn time I met Umar Johnson? Anyway, Umar Johnson, also known as Jermaine Shoemake, has not provided proof to date that he is Dr. Umar Johnson or that he has a Doctor of Psychology. The only evidence of an Umar Johnson receiving the degree is from 2012, years after the Umar in question began calling himself Dr. Umar Johnson. As an important investigatory note, Jermaine Shoemake has been calling himself Dr. Umar Johnson since at least 2006, which is evidence in public record from the Pennsylvania Department of Education. Also, so yeah, it might have been around then. I might be right. Also, it should be noted that PCOM removed the citation of the dissertation after the essay went public. The 2012 dissertation, which Umar claims belongs to him, but is not found online anywhere as of this date. Yet still, the dissertation may be associated with another Umar. Either way, he lied to his followers up to 2012, or he never earned a degree in the first place. It's either two things. Both are fraudulent acts. You get it? Both of them are fraudulent. Okay, so it's crazy. If Umar Johnson is the Dr. Umar Rashad Abdallah R. Johnson, who earned a degree in 2012, why did he say he had it 6 years before it was awarded? Why? He can easily provide evidence by posting his transcripts, diploma, dissertation, and proof of ID to these documents to date. He has not provided any information. This act stands as proof of fraud, as far as I'm concerned, and as far as I guess uh, the African Resistance organization as well. Fact 5. Umar is not as original as he claims. He states that he is the only black psychologist to conduct a psychological research on black children and racism. He claims that no leaders are doing what he does. He is in essence discrediting an entire movement for his own purpose of reputation building. Umar states that he is a certified school psychologist and certified school principal and has his own private practice in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he evaluates children for special education disability determination. He allegedly works with charter schools, public schools, superintendents, principals, special education attorneys, and advocate groups. Excuse me. He states that although he was canned from speaking at Philadelphia Public High School in 2016. What? It says he states this, although he was canned from speaking at a Philadelphia high school in 2016. He's also been canned at universities and other events. Umar states that he has written the only book ever written by a black psychologist. This claim is also fraudulent. Black psychologists have produced a body of work for decades. Some are Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Bobby Wright, Dr. Naeem Akbar, Dr. Wade Nobles, Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, and many others, none who have ever cited or even mentioned Umar Johnson. Umar has not proven that he is related to Frederick Douglass either. Before Umar became popular throughout the country, he became known locally in the city of Philadelphia as a descendant of Frederick Douglass. This is how he began to attract audiences who I heard personally excited to go hear a descendant of Frederick Douglass. Bingo. That would be great, except while building his reputation as a descendant, no proof was ever provided. He has proved some fictitious relationship verbally while speaking. However, like so many things with this leader, you must believe him and take his words without evidence and facts. However, facts are not established by words, but with evidence. And this is what we're trying to tell black folks. I mean, you know, all this information and all these facts, he's going to slither. So this information is not for Brother Umar. This information is for people that are listening to eat the meat of his information and throw away the bone. Eat the meat, throw away the bone. Handle him with a long handled spoon until some of these ideas that he has come to fruition. It's Ken Morris and his mother, Nettie Washington Douglass, are true descendants and established descendants of Frederick Douglass and Booker T. Washington. Birth records, wedding certificates, family pictures, and a family tree in the Library of Congress exists that establishes their relationship to Frederick Douglass and to Booker T. Washington. Umar, we also heard that you paid $50 to get somebody that didn't want to even divulge their name because they didn't want to, I guess, get involved with this. But supposedly you paid somebody $50 for the information that you have so you can stick yourself in this lineage. Is that how that works? I'm not sure. Maybe you can explain what you paid $50 for. Okay, I know it has something to do with this right here. The same type of records validate Terrence Bailey as a cousin of Ken Morris. Terrence is a descendant of Perry Bailey, the elder brother of Frederick Douglass. No such records relate to Ken and his mother Nettie, Terrence, or anyone else related to Frederick Douglass or Booker T. Washington. Okay? It says no such records relate Umar to Ken and his mother Nettie, Terrence, or anyone else related to Frederick Douglass, not even Stephen or Booker T. Ken and Nettie have co-founded the Frederick Douglass Family Initiatives, which is supported by Terrence. This is where I got the book from. Remember I told you I met Frederick Douglass IV, and I don't care what Umar Johnson said. The only fraud here, buddy, is you. Okay? Terrence Bailey, nor any other proven descendant have spoken of any relationship to Umar Johnson. He is not a member of the FDFI. What has occurred is that Ken Morris issued an official public statement on Umar Johnson, and Terrence Bailey issued the declaration from elders of the Bailey family disowning Umar Johnson, an unverified disgrace to the family name. Now he's saying all of them are a bunch of liars. Are y'all going to let him disrespect the whole Frederick Douglass lineage? Because it's just not Terrence saying this. It's all of them. So what about this, family? Y'all you don't see this either? You turn a blind eye? If the blind leads the blind, they're going to end up in a ditch. Fact number 7. There is suspicious activity around PayPal and GoFundMe, which indicates fraudulent activity. PayPal froze Umar's account permanently, and GoFundMe closed his account down temporarily. There are only a few reasons why PayPal would freeze accounts and GoFundMe would close temporarily, and they all evolve around fraud protection. Remember that, Polite, because I'm coming for you next. And I mean it. Because I'm sick of this. 2017, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius. It's time to wake up. You are responsible for your soul and your children that you brought into this world. Get all the information you can, but the responsibility is yours to get the information as well. And that should keep you busy. Should keep you very busy. If you got some money to donate and put it aside to your kids' college fund. Or put it aside in your savings account for your children. Or buy some stocks for your children. If you got some money. No more of this craziness. Because fact number 7, let me go on. There is suspicious activity, I said that, around the GoFundMe. Usually when that happens, they do that for protection. They protect the integrity of their service. They have accounts in such greater amounts than Umar. There is no conspiracy against him. If donors have complained about making contributions to a fraud, PayPal and GoFundMe will freeze your account. Considering that so much of Umar's reputation is so highly questionable, PayPal could have had any number of fraudulent reasons to freeze his account. On the other hand, Umar also has a GoFundMe page, which is different from PayPal. With GoFundMe, you are giving money to the person for whatever reason they wish. With PayPal, there are more restrictions to protect against fraud. Umar's PayPal was frozen for all the reasons that PayPal freezes accounts. Suspicion of fraud or actual fraud. And this is what I told y'all. Number 8. Umar has poor character. The fact that Umar and Kim Reinger were involved with each other is their business. They were 2 consenting adults. His character comes into question because he blamed her for the loss of his large donation from an unnamed NBA star when the internet became active around the involvement that they had with each other. He didn't give the identity of this NBA star, leading many to believe that it was simply a diversion tactic because Kim Ringo is a stripper. Oh, see, that's a good narc move. See how you slip? See how you slip that one? It's like you slipping punches. I also have a brother that's a welterweight champion. Well, he was. Shout out to my brother Marlon. And he used to slip punches real good. Slip them. He used to make people throw punches and he just slip them. And that's just what a narc do. Just slip and slide. It should also be noted that he called Kim Reinhold several disrespectful names not worth mentioning. I'm losing my voice. Regardless of Kim Ringo being a stripper, as brothers, we should try to uplift our sisters instead of putting them down. His actions were not those of leadership, character of a man or a man. Umar is extremely disrespectful. When complaining about how much money was not raised, he stated trifling ass black people didn't give him enough money. And if anybody didn't like what he said, it could be handled outside. Same thing he said to SETI. Educators and leaders of our people do not speak like this about our people being trifling because he didn't get enough money. And let's take it outside, not considering they'd already given him what he had. Oh my God. Oh my God. If you don't like what he said, on another occasion, he told a brother who disagreed with him in Texas to knuckle up, bitch. He has had problems with paying his own child support. Most recently, he had a video rant meltdown with a fake tough guy phone call that was a viral embarrassment. This is not how great leaders behave, people. And it's not how they talk. This is how irresponsible and insecure men conduct themselves. Okay? And for some of y'all don't know, this is horrible. For those of y'all that don't know. Fact number 9. We coming down to the last two. Umar gives selective information to his donors. He was supposedly a principal of a charter school, but suddenly resigned. He didn't give the name of the school or why he resigned. Why? Kim Reingold supposedly prevented him from receiving a large donation, but he didn't give the NBA player's identity. Why? He states that he is related to Frederick Douglass, but can't provide any records. Why? He has a financial plan, but it's not made available. Why? He claims to have several degrees to which he can easily prove through posting the transcripts or posting degrees, but he does not. Why? These are the questions you should ask yourself. Umar has not explained why his PayPal was frozen or his GoFundMe was temporarily shut down. Why? He can give documented reasons from PayPal or GoFundMe by posting for his followers. Why hasn't he? Considering the pattern of selected information, the pattern of suspicion of deceit, a very reasonable conclusion can be drawn that Umar is extremely dishonest, perhaps even pathologically and chronologically dishonest beyond his own control. If he is pathologically dishonest, which I deduce from all the above evidence, he is driven by insecurity to fulfill illusions of grandeur from his unquestioning, uncritical loyal followers, willing to defend him even in the face of logic. A la Jim Jones and the people who ended up dead in Guyana. Number 10. From all the available facts above, the reasonable conclusion and the only logical conclusion can be made is that Umar Johnson is a fraud who is deceptive or even pathologically dishonest and fueled by illusions of grandeur, particularly encouraged by his non-critical followers. He seems to suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. Hello, 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 hello. The fact that he is articulate and has followers is not to his advantage. He would not defraud people of money and possibly create legal problems for himself if he didn't have an audience. He is a professional fundraiser who has been able to raise money based on the desire of black people to support an African-centered school. Some of y'all can start your own schools. You can do it. Some of y'all can start your own and do just like Marcus Klein did over there in Chicago. I'm even thinking about that. Even if you have to get a house and start in a house and a flat and build yourself just like Marva Collins did. We need schools to teach the identity to children, the purpose of education, and the history of our people. Supporting a fraud campaign will only deter people and divert resources from meaningful causes, such as CIBI or other independent African-centered schools. With Umar being taken with any depth of seriousness will make any and all cultural movements for blacks look comical. Conclusion. Umar has been able to platform himself into the national lecture circuit with false claims around his ancestry, fake credentials, and a fundraising mission that has failed. Umar's reputation will become a shadow in the near future. However, other fraudulent leaders, culture pimps, and religious shysters will continue to take advantage of people with good intentions willing to support a righteous cause, but desperate for leadership. We have schools and businesses that need support from our people. Such fraudulent campaigns can be disheartening to many and even turn people away from supporting needing causes. Community support is needed. Unfortunately, insincere campaigns can become distracting and wasteful of potential and resources that could truly, truly benefit our community. I'm reminded of Pastor Creflo Dollar and Pastor Leroy Thompson on the plushy carpeted stairs of their church in expensive suits, nice shoes, Bible in their hand, shouting incoherently as they ran through the waves of money given by the congregation. As a people, we must place insight before involvement, education, and indoctrination, and never ever suspend critical thought and critical analysis. I'll end it with this saying. As long as there are fools with money, they will lose it or someone else will take it. All right, family. I know that was very long. I know. I had to get it out. And I hope that's the last thing I have to say about Umar Johnson. And it is the last thing I'm going to say about Umar Johnson in 2017. But I tell you something. The ancestors are watching you, brother. And like a house of cards, it will fall. No narcs. Bullshit live forever. And one thing about narcs, they hate to be exposed. So, I'm going to go. And I'm done. And I will be back. So if you like what you hear, please like and subscribe. And we'll talk again in the mental house. Bye-bye.